Okay, so I decided to make this video because I was looking for this kind of video on YouTube, but was not really able to find one. So thought that I will do my best and try to recreate it. So obviously you can see the runway here. We are at 1,000 feet, so this is clearly not high enough. I will climb a little bit in a moment. Airplane is not configured for landing either, so we'll do all that. Now, what's my point here? So I believe that the plane hit birds around this area. From this video, we can tell that the right engine, so engine number 2, was hit. From that video, we cannot tell if left engine was hit, which means essentially that it could have been hit, but not necessarily. Then they've initiated go around to the left, which has another bird activity area here. So my understanding is that they either were hit on both engines here, or they were hit on the second engine around here. My way of thinking is that since they've initiated go-around procedure here, they probably were kind of thinking or had the understanding that they have control over the airplane, and in particular they had at least one engine fully working, so providing max thrust that is necessary. That's why they initiated go around. Otherwise, I would assume they would be landing straight in with no engines. So they initiated the go around and probably either were hit with the second engine somewhere here, and around here they realized that they don't really have full thrust on both engines, or even on either of the two engines. So probably at this point they've decided that okay, there's no time for absolutely nothing, and we need to make a teardrop maneuver and land as soon as possible, even if we won't have time or technical possibilities to extend gear and retract flaps, extend flaps. One additional comment is that on this video there is some thrust visible from the right engine, which was actually hit for sure, and then it seems there's no thrust from the left engine. So I will assume that this engine is gone, and I will assume that they have thrust on this engine. So having said that, I will try to disable engine number 1, so left engine, somewhere around here, and we'll see what happens. Also, from that video and from other comments and from information that is widely available already, we can tell that I believe these are the skid marks from the engines. So I believe we can assume that they touched down somewhere, probably half the runway. So it was also not comfortable situation, but I believe that this was caused by of course some ground effect, etc., but probably by the rush that they need to make a teardrop as soon as possible and land. So they didn't have enough time to extend this teardrop maneuver and then establish somehow the plane like it would probably normally be done, but rather had to really rush, and then they were kind of high around this area and a little bit of ground effect, and they touched down half the distance here. So that was probably the issue as well. Okay, so let me try to do it. This is also 737 MAX, so not the same aircraft, but it is what it is right now in Flight Simulator 2024. So it was they were hit around this area, I believe. When it comes to second engine, I will assume it was more or less with the first engine as well. And so let me extend flaps and also gear. We are still a little bit fast, but that's fine. Okay, and let's assume this is established. Let's disable engine number 1. Okay, so we've been hit right now. Engine 1 is disabled, and we retract a little bit of flaps.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
We
Don't
put
sink.
full.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
We
Don't
put
sink.
full
Don't sink. Don't sink.
rudder.
Don't
A
sink.
lot of rudder.
Don't sink.
Right
Don't
rudder
sink.
is needed
Don't
in such
sink.
case.
Don't
Really a
sink.
lot. I have almost depressed my right pedal to full extent. Let's try to go higher and higher. Let me retract flaps completely. Okay, so we have flaps retracted.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
And so far it's going okay, let's say. We have like 2300 feet per minute positive rate. 220 knots. The runway is, I believe, on our right hand side. So I will need to extend it a little bit, otherwise I'm not sure if I would make it. I'm still not sure if I will be able to make this.
Don't sink. Don't
This
sink.
teardrop
Don't
maneuver
sink. Don't sink.
properly.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Yeah, so as you can see, we overflew it quite significantly.
Don't sink.
I have
Don't sink.
230 knots right now.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Both engines are at idle. I mean, the left one was completely turned off.
Don't sink. 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 Don't sink.
40, 30, 20,
Sink rate.
10.
Yeah, so it's not easy to actually to touch down. It
10.
bounces quite significantly. Okay, so obviously this is the skid on the runway is not simulated at all. That's why we've actually managed to stop here instead of crashing into this barrier. So I believe I believe I touched down quite late. So it was more or less around middle of the runway, I believe. And then all I had when it comes to the engine was roughly yeah, and I had a little bit of thrust because of the calibration of the throttle that I have. As you can see, I was in this. I'm looking at this gauge at the moment. So this was the configuration I was landing in. So maximum. This is actually full reverse thrust. It would be idle somewhere out, over there. So this would be idle, but due to the calibration, I actually did full reverse, and it was literally full reverse. So maybe it was even better this way, so that it reflects more or less what happened there. Assuming they had right hand side reverser open. Okay, so let me reload now and try to do one more thing, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, reloaded. The same situation as previously, so we are a little bit low. Actually, this is the glide slope that we should be taking. And then what I will try to do next is that probably let's assume that they've been hit with one engine here and the other one around here. I previously tried doing it in a way that I disabled both engines here, but then if I disable both engines here with a plane fully configured for landing with extended flaps and gear down, then I can't even make it to the runway straight in. So there's no point in assuming both engines failed around this area. But let's assume that they've been hit with one engine here, and I will disable that engine. And then let's assume that during this area, so let's say downwind to runway 01, I will put the other engine to idle, and we'll see what happens there.
Sync rate. $500.
Okay, so we have full flaps, gear down, and we are more or less configured for landing right now. And okay, let me disable that. Okay, and so
2,500.
it's a little bit too. We are a little bit too far away, but let me try to disable the so I will disable the left engine. Okay, we can feel immediately that the plane tries to go left hand side. I will put full thrust, a lot of right rudder. I will put gear up and flaps up,
don't sink, 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 don't sink.
Okay, so I have 0 flaps right now, and I mean, I don't have 0 flaps yet, but I set 0 flaps. You can see the flaps are 5 degrees right now, and my engine, the only engine that we have is actually
Don't sink,
full
don't
thrust at the
sink,
moment, and
don't
the
sink,
plane is
don't
barely
sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't
willing
sink.
to climb. Okay, and let's let me go to the outside view. Yes, some more. Okay, and let's assume that right now I'm putting second engine to idle. I will keep in mind that it has to be a little bit higher to... Okay, but the reversers won't engage because we are more than 10 feet of the ground. So as you can see, I had quite significant airspeed because I have 220 at the moment. So I'm not sure if they were able to gain that much speed in order to have buffer then to make landing. Let me go a little bit wider this time around, just to be able to make it a little bit better. So thrust is on idle at the moment, and we are
Don't
trying
sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't
to
sink,
land. And
don't
what I will
sink,
do, I
don't
will
sink,
simply try
don't
to
sink,
extend flaps
don't
and
sink,
put
don't
gear down,
sink, don't sink, don't sink,
just to
don't
see
sink,
if
don't sink,
they were
don't
able
sink,
to do
don't
it
sink, don't
by
sink,
means
don't sink,
of airspeed and
don't sink,
altitude
don't sink, don't
in
sink,
this kind of
don't sink,
situation, not
don't sink,
considering
don't
their
sink,
technical
don't
ability to
sink,
extend
don't sink, don't
flaps and
sink,
gear, but
don't sink,
but
don't
if the
sink,
speed and
don't sink,
everything was
don't
okay to
sink,
do it.
don't sink, don't sink, don't
Okay, so
sink,
at the moment
don't
right
sink,
now, I
don't
think
sink,
that I'm okay
don't
to
sink,
extend the gear,
don't
so I'm
sink,
extending the
don't
gear.
sink, don't sink, don't sink,
Speed is
don't
going
sink.
down. Right now I'm extending flaps. I have 200 knots. You can check the airspeed. I'm putting full flaps right now.
Sink rate. 500, 400.
And as you can see, there's plenty of speed to actually complete the landing.
200. 100. Approaching minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Yeah. So so even if they lost so what we did right now is one engine switched off around this area, then initiated go around and lost second engine around downwind position, and even then I was gaining a lot of speed here, so I gained up to 230 or 240 knots even. So it was a lot. I will need to see the recording to know. But then even when I lost second engine to idle around this area, I was able to kind of make a little bit extended teardrop maneuver, and then line up with the runway, extend flaps, extend landing gear, and land. So they were either not able to extend flaps and gear, or they lost both engines significantly earlier, and they may have not been able to actually gain this speed that I gained here, because that speed that I had around this area here, like it was to 30 or to 40 knots, that was quite a lot of speed in this phase of the approach and go around, I believe. So that allowed me to actually make it. But should I leave? Should I lose engines, both engines here, prior to actually gaining this speed? Then it would be probably not possible. That's all. That's my best kind of analysis or reconstruction based on what we have all seen on the internet. Sad day for aviation, but it is what it is.